Chapter 5, Lesson 2, we're going to start with vocabulary again. 2 words for this lesson. In your notebook, write down the word absolute value. Absolute value is the distance from 0 on a number line. Your next word is opposites. Opposites are numbers that are the same distance from 0 in opposite directions. Pause your video, get those copied down. Starting on page 356, we're going to go through the examples. Question number 1 asks us to find the opposite of -5. Here's -5. The opposite of -5 is +5. It's that easy. The opposite of +4. Here's 4. The opposite would be -4. A on the bottom, what is the opposite of 3? -3. The opposite of the opposite, let's make it tricky. The opposite of -2. The opposite of -2 is 2. The opposite of the opposite, good grief, is -2. Let's start out by confusing everybody right off the bat. Now, on the next page, we're getting into absolute value. On page 357, we're going to evaluate the absolute value of -7. You will see the signs like this. So when we write -7, we want the absolute value. The 2 parallel lines, left and right of the number, that means absolute value. So the absolute value of -7 is 7, because it takes 7 steps to get to 0. Number 4, we're going to evaluate the absolute value of 5 plus the absolute value of -6. The absolute value of -6 is 6, so the answer to that question is 11. If you were looking at a number line, here's 5, here's -6. We want to know the distance between those 2 numbers. That's why it's 11. Takes 6 steps to get to 0, and then 5 more. You're going to see the word evaluate a lot. The absolute value of -7 is 7, minus the absolute value of 3 is still 3, so that answer is 4. C, the absolute value of 14, it's 14 steps from 0. D, the absolute value of -9 is 9. The absolute value of 3 is 3. That answer is 12. And then E, the absolute value of -8 is 8, minus the absolute value of -2 is 2. That answer is 6. Be sure to remember your absolute value signs, parallel lines, its distance from 0. Get started on lesson 2.